The double aspect of the Mass does not express only in the antithesis between the human acting and that divine, but also in the double aspect of God and man God and woman God, which are, according to their nature, a unity, but represent a duplicity in the ritual drama. Without this doubling of God, if it is allowed to us to express so, the entire sacrificial acting would not be imaginable and would lack of actualitas. According to the Christian point of view, God Himself has never ceased to be God, not even when He has appeared in human embodiment in the temporal life. In fact, the Christ of John declares, "I and the Father are one only thing. Who has seen me has seen the Father." And on the cross exclaims, my God, why have you abandoned me?" This contradiction must exist if the formulation through God and through man is psychologically justified. And if it is justified, also the different affirmations of Christ do not contradict in the smallest. The being really man and woman is equivalent to be extremely far and different from God. De profundis clamavi a te, Domine. From the deep I long to you, Lord. This appeal indicates as much the distance as the nearness, the extreme darkness, and at the same time the divine spark. God, as much man and woman, is probably so far from himself, herself, to have to find his or own self through the most complete abandonment. What would become of the fullness of God if he, she, could not be also the entirely diverse? It seems to me thus that on the psychological level it justifies the fact that when the Gnostic nose fell in the dominion of the physis, it may have undertaken the shadowing tonia embodiment of the serpent, and the original Manichaean man, in the same condition, may have undertaken the character of evil. In the Tibetan Buddhism, the gods always have a benign aspect and a wrathful aspect, as much as they govern all the kingdoms of the beings. The decentering of God in divinity and humanity, and his recentering, resurrection to his, her own self in the sacrificial act, embodies for man and woman the caring doctrine that in his, her shadow it is hidden a light, a brightfulness destined to come back to its spring, rather that this brightness, as thy will to descend in the shadows to free the liver, that which lied in obligation in the shadow, and bring it back to eternal brightness. This is the doctrine already pre-Christian of the original man and woman of the brightness of the anthropos, or primogeniture, man and woman, which the word of Christ in the Gospel of John presupposes as universally known